What is Honda Cars India up to? It is a question that we have been asking for the longest time now. In fact, I had made a video about this exact subject about a year ago. And after a lot of back and forth about it's going to be this platform, this model, that model, we have finally got something concrete on that front in the form of the Honda Elevate. I absolutely love that name. And this video is going to be about the Honda Elevate, wherein we're going to figure out what is this car, where does it fit in, what it should offer, and importantly, what are the pitfalls that Honda needs to avoid with this car for it to be a success. Yeah. But Arun, ये गाड़ी क्या है?
एक सबसे पहली बात, it's one of the first, no, it is the first Honda SUV for India, जिसके नाम में RV नहीं है. It's called the Elevate. I love the name. And second of all, it's not going to have an easy run at the market.
Correct.
Right? Because Grand Vitara, Hyryder, Koshak,
Taigun,
Creta,
Seltos,
and Aster. I counted 4, but 7 rivals hai. I know my maths. Okay? So 7 rivals, not going to be easy, but I think it kind of helps that it's not really Honda's first attempt at this segment as such. They tried it before with the rather forgettable BRV, but second time's the charm maybe. But what I really like is that Honda's really starting off strong, right? And the routes are very familiar. It's not going the low-cost route like they did with the BRV. It's not based on the Brio platform.
Correct.
It's based on the much more expensive, much more premium City platform, and I'm expecting it to share engines with the City as well, including the hybrid.
Yes, that is going to be a major standout point, and the reveal of the car has been confirmed. That's happening on the 6th of June. Although the price announcement and actual distribution, all that stuff will probably start closer towards Diwali, the festive season basically. But I think that it's important that if you are a non-car person right now, that you get some important context here as to why it is that this car is so important and why we felt the need to make this video about it, even though we've got not much besides a teaser and some inputs from reliable sources. It is important because this, in my books, is sort of a Honda City moment for them. Because when the brand was introduced in 1998, the City is what had formed the identity for Honda. The Elevate is now going to be sort of a rebirth for Honda because over the past 5, 6, 8 years, it hasn't been the best run and they've been going in the opposite direction of what they should have been doing.
Absolutely. I mean, for a brand that's been around for around 25 years, 1998 is when Honda had first come in. You look at the last 3 years, right? They've genuinely discontinued more cars than they've launched. So the CR-V is gone, the Accord's gone, the Civic's gone, the BRV obviously went, the Jazz is gone, the WRV is gone, the 4th generation City is gone. And all that Honda has in its own lineup right now is the 5th generation City and the Amaze and the City hybrids, technically 2 models, that's all.
And the problem with that is when you are a brand of Honda's heritage in India, when you've importantly got a vast dealer network that a brand of Honda would have, having just 2 cars on sale does not make any sense for the dealers from a volume perspective. Never mind the fact that it's not exactly the best signal of intent for someone who's looking to buy a Honda car in general. But let's talk about what are the positives that we know about this car so far, this SUV, the Elevate so far. And for me, the first positive that's standing out is the kind of body style and shape that they're going for. By what we can tell from the teasers, the sketches, and as well as the spy shots that we saw, it is going for that boxy sort of SUV shape. Right. Not Land Rover Defender or G-Wagon boxy, but they have got sharp lines, strong shoulders, and it's not going in that crossover Toyota CHR type of zone, right? Yeah. So it's got a good boxy design that a lot of people will be gravitating towards. Second, and more importantly in my books, is that we have more or less got the confirmation that this is going to be available with the strong hybrid powertrain as an option. And it has taken absurdly long for strong hybrids to find acceptance and mainstream sort of popularity, but it has happened now with my car, the Grand Vitara, the Toyota Hyryder, the Honda City, Toyota Innova Hycross. Yeah. So there's a lot of potential that's coming in with this technology.
Like you said, you drive the Grand Vitara hybrid, but you also admit that Honda does hybrid better. Even though you might not admit it on a daily basis, but explain to the ladies and gentlemen at home why Honda's hybrid tech is better.
True. This is something I was honestly saving for a comparison review between the City and the Grand Vitara or the Toyota Hyryder. We will get that in place. But in my experience, what we saw from the City hybrid, especially when we drove it for the Drive to Death series, what's the video if it haven't already? Yeah, basically the advancements that they've got is on the front of smoothness, both in terms of operation, the way the car sounds. It's a 4-cylinder hybrid versus a 3-cylinder that Toyota has got. It's smoother in terms of its transitions between EV and ICE mode. It's better in terms of performance for sure. It's going to be using most likely a larger battery pack as well compared to what Toyota system has got. So it is giving you better performance, better smoothness, and most likely better efficiency as well. So it's going to be a more sophisticated and more advanced sort of hybrid tech. And we saw this not just with what I'm seeing with the City versus this, but also the Accord hybrid itself. That was also a better hybrid sort of technology than the Camry of its time.
Right. And what I am looking forward to is Honda really doubling down on its strength, right? Now, a little bit of a flashback when the first generation Jazz came to India, also owner, first generation Jazz. Honda showed India what man maximum, machine minimum philosophy really meant. It was a tiny car with space that could genuinely put larger sedans to shame, right? True. And that is weirdly enough still a gap in the segment. You look at, say, the Grand Vitara or the Hyryder, physically large cars, but the space inside isn't that much of a jump up from, say, a Brezza, right? And if you get, say, the hybrid versions, you're compromising heavily on boot space. So the only car that kind of manages to seat 3 people comfortably in the rear right now is a Creta. Right? So if Honda gets the packaging right, if they manage to make a properly spacious family car for 5 with the boot space, with the hybrid, they've really hit the nail on the head if they get that recipe right. Right? But at the same time, there are a lot of challenges for Honda.
The first challenge that I am seeing, again, this is not something that Honda has officially confirmed because officially they aren't saying anything. They like to be tight-lipped about this stuff as always. The first thing that we're hearing right now, inferences from very reliable sources, from a lot of news reports that have also come out, is that they are not going to be launching the hybrid tech, the strong hybrid tech at launch. And in my books, that is a massive L. Do not do that. And I've seen this happen with a lot of brands wherein they have something that's going to be their trump card. It could be something like hybrid tech, it could be automatic transmission, it could be all-wheel drive, it could be some feature. Why would you not introduce something that's going to be your most standout aspect at launch? At launch is when you've got the maximum visibility. At launch is when you've got the maximum amount of people aware that you've even got a new product out. You don't have to follow that up and wait for the trickle down and get that spike up in attention again. Lead with that.
Okay, I also understand where Honda is coming from, because if you look at the waiting period of the City hybrid, it's already past a year, right? So I kind of understand why Honda might want to do it, but even I think it's not the best move. Second challenge that I see is actually 2 more challenges, and both of them have to do with Honda being Honda. It's the easiest way. They had a marketing campaign, Honda is Honda. But anyway, first, I really think if they want to really get this segment going for them, they really have to max features out. They've already missed one. The single teaser image. The single teaser image that they put out. It's got a single pane sunroof, no dual pane, no panoramic sunroof.
Not the biggest deal in my books, but they are up against a tall challenge when it comes to features, because honestly, tell me, everything that you could possibly want from a car, are you not getting it now within 25 lakh rupees on?
I remember having this discussion with you where we said 20-25 lakh rupee cars are effectively equaling cars that cost twice as much in terms of features.
Bettering in some cases.
Yeah, you've got ADAS, you've got heads-up displays, you've got ventilated front seats, you've got 6 airbags. I mean, what more do you want, right? The second challenge that I see is Honda being Honda in terms of pricing. I mean, you absolutely have to at least match the Maruti and the Toyota and the Hyundai Kia.
Or at least stick with a reasonable premium. Because
what is a reasonable premium and for what?
Okay, let's say hypothetically we go with the advantage that we are expecting with Honda, in that they're going to give you a better hybrid powertrain, they're going to give you better cabin space and better boot space than at least hybrid rivals, not across the segment right now, trying to make an apples to apples comparison here, wherein you're getting that one step up. If you ask me for a premium, that one, it is a Honda, and two, of about, let's say, 50 to 70,000 rupees. Honestly speaking, in my books, it's not going to be, one, it'll be worth it, and two, it won't be a deterrent.
Yeah, in terms of EMIs, that amount is basically nothing.
Let's set some context. Right? The reason why I paid a 65-70,000 rupee premium of my Grand Vitara over the Toyota, which has better brand values, because I like the way it looked more.
Yeah.
So that emotional aspect, if it can be counted, if you get more nuanced stuff like better space and sophistication, it's a reasonable premium, and it's a fart in a hurricane when you talk about loan EMIs, but it makes no difference.
Makes no difference. So overall, what we're looking at with the Elevate is that it hopefully is something that balances sensibilities for the family, a little bit of brand value for the Honda snob in you.
Yep.
And it's finally coming back to a segment where it should have honestly been ruling. So, and I think one perspective that we need to put in
is Honda's own perspective. So here's the deal, right? We as enthusiasts and people who live in this enviable bubble of the car enthusiasts think that if every car comes, it has to be knocking it out of the park every time. Every car has to try and be Sharma ji ka ladka. But that's not necessarily what Honda is looking at, because the investment that's going into the Elevate, it's from two perspectives. One is domestic sales and getting brand Honda up rather. The second is that they will be exporting the Elevate to a lot of markets, most likely focusing on APAC. But outside of that as well, they may be looking at getting more and more and using Honda's production capacity better as a global standpoint. That is going to be their perspective. And if that is going to be the case, they may not be looking to, be as aggressive as people may expect them to. They're not going to get desperate with this. They're not going to give you segment below pricing for a segment above vehicle. That's not going to happen. But let's make no mistake, Honda will want this car to be a success, because they're not looking at this in isolation. If the Elevate does well, if it gets all those features, if it gets the right powertrain combination, if it gets availability, it can kill waiting periods down and be available for customers who want to buy it. There's a lot of potential here.
Right. And so as it stands, I think pretty much everyone in the team agrees that the Elevate is a bit of a do or die moment for Honda.
Yes.
All details are out on June 6th. Tushar and I will be covering the global unveil of the Honda Elevate from the ground. Prices I'm expecting to be in the standard staple 10 to 20 lakh rupee range. What do you think about the Elevate? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to bug us in the comments, call us names, go ahead, we'll reply to you. And don't forget to subscribe to Zigwheels for more cool automotive content. Both of us will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.